what's your take on what's happening here and how this is going to impact your world VC and growing startups?
Thank you for having me here, Emily. This is an important moment, and this is a moment that feels that it has been 12 years in the making. And where we come out of it is thinking that over the past decade, the biggest mistake in technology as an investor was not investing in everything, because everything was looking good, everything was making money, and like software was and is eating the world. But now we are going into a world where we're going to have to be more discerning. And our view is that there is going to be an extreme flight to quality, where the top 10% of solar companies will continue to attract records amount of funding, whereas the rest are going to have to take a good look and think, are we truly building something that is going to be transformative or not?
So when you look at this historically, is this RIP good times, as Sequoia has said about downturns in the past? Is this like 2008? Is it more like the dot-com bust?
We think it's something, but we think it's real. Like we really think starting 2022 is going to feel very different than the last decade. Look, we are long-term investors, and we're investing in companies today, not thinking about whether they're going to be a good return in a 1-year time horizon, but on a 10-year time horizon. So when the question is, do we believe that 10 years from now we'll have more software, more technology, and sectors like education, real estate, or recruiting will be transformed by that software? We believe the answer is yes. So we believe that it is a good time to deploy in those kind of companies. But we think that things like unit economics and sustainable growth are going to have an effect on valuations. And we are broadly going to see a reset on valuations in private markets and in venture capital.
Now, I've really enjoyed following the story of Base 10. You're now the first Black-led venture capital firm to cross more than $1 billion in assets under management. You specifically raised $250 million last year to bridge the gap between venture capital and higher learning, create more opportunities for diverse founders. How much progress have you made in the last year?
It has been a transformative year for us. So as you point out, you had us here a year ago, and we launched with a promise, right? We launched with the promise that by virtue of donating 50% of our profit to create scholarships for underrepresented students, we will be able to partner with the best companies in the world because they will see it as something differentiated. Now, a year after, with 300 million deployed in over 23 companies, that promise has become a reality. And we are now partners with companies like Nubank, Plaid, Brex, FTX, Notion, Figma, Handshake, Motive, that truly are the very best companies in their respective sectors, and that have chosen to partner with us because they want to make sure that their success benefits the communities that need it the most, which in our view are those communities that are underrepresented in tech.
So what improvements are you seeing in terms of representation across technology? Obviously, it's not going to happen in a year. It might not even happen in 10 years. But do you see things that make you hopeful? Do you see things that make you skeptical that the change that you're hoping for is actually going to happen?
We're quite hopeful. So, to give a little bit of perspective, I've now lived in Silicon Valley for 14 years, and this has only truly been part of the conversation for the last 3-4 years. And I'm happy to say that we are actually surprised by how seriously companies are taking this. When they take our money, it's not a one and done, thank you for the investment and we'll talk next when you create the scholarships. They want us really involved. Like, companies are inviting us to their all hands meetings, and they're telling their employees, look, we decided to take money from this fund because we want to diversify our cap table. It is important to us and to our mission that our success is the success of everyone, is the success of the 99%. And we are constantly engaged with people in their HR departments to help with recruiting in underrepresented communities, with their communications department to make sure that they're talking about their mission in a way that is well received by different communities. And that just did not happen 2 or 3 years ago. I think every company is realizing that we are moving into a world that in order to do great, you're going to have to do good. And companies are going to have to be aligned with their mission, with their communities, track their progress towards those goals, and report their progress towards those goals because there is more transparency. So that makes me hopeful.
You've got a lot of cash to deploy. Given current market conditions, what trends are you betting on for the next decade?
Our overarching theme is automation for the real economy, or problem solving for the 99%. Things like real estate, logistics, food, retail, financial services, and financial inclusion. Those are the things where we sit today and we are like, wow, 10 years from now, there is going to be just so much more software in things like making the supply chain more efficient or making sure that financial inclusion is more widespread. So those are the sectors where we're focused on. And one of the things we're seeing is that more and more founders from underrepresented backgrounds are tackling those sectors because they felt those problems firsthand.